Well, welcome to Speaking of Horses. I'm your host, Wayne Williams, and we're ready to go right here with some of the great stories from the horse industry. So join us as we get ready to go Speaking of Horses right here on this station. Well, hey, welcome to Speaking of Horses. Today, here on the radio show, my guest is Julianne Neal. Now, Julianne is promoting the Camden, South Carolina tour stop for the Equus Film Festival. Now, the Equus Film Festival has several stops around the country and now around the world. And Camden, South Carolina is really going to be a good one. That's coming up February 16th to the 18th, 2017. So, Julianne, welcome.
Well, thank you, Wayne. I'm so excited to be here this morning with you talking about the Film Festival tour stop. We've got a lot in store in Camden, so we're excited to have everybody come on into town.
Tell us exactly what's going to be happening.
Well, we're very excited about Lisa Dearson and Diana DeRosa coming back in. They were here with us last year, and we're doing a bit of an expansion from what we did before. So we have films that will be showing at our local vintage theater, the Little Theater. We're bringing in 45, so we've got a lot to choose from. And we have them. Lisa was great about putting them into film blocks that are sort of special interest group types of things. And so we have a really diverse equine community in Camden. We have the racing crowd and the polo crowd and a hunt group and all that, and so she's been able to separate them out into different blocks of films that will appeal to everybody. And on top of the films, we're doing some really fun things around the community that'll go along with the festival. So our art galleries in town are going to feature a gallery gallop, and we'll just have some other exciting things going on at about the same time, so that if you want to take a break from the films, you can step out and do something else, and then hurry back in to see your favorites. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, there's also a lot of things around the area that you're looking at doing and adding to the experience of coming to the film festival, because there is a rich history of horses in that area, right?
Absolutely. They call us the steeplechase capital of the world, and so when folks come to town to the Carolina Cup or the Colonial Cup, they can stop in at the Steeplechase Museum. And so we're excited that we're bringing in some of the filmmakers from the New York event, and so we'll take them around and do some special carriage tours and stop off at the museum. And we're really excited that in Camden this year we have 3 films that were a part of the New York event. And so I think Bruce Anderson and I are with the Marley Project, which is a 501c3. We're based in Camden, and we're the hosts for the event, but we're also really lucky to have Donna Freyer of the Fast Women. They had a film in the festival in New York, and also George and Sue Sensor have a film about their horse, who was Sunshine Numbers. We'll call it Camden's favorite racehorse, I think. And the funny thing about them is they had the film about Sunshine in the film festival this year, and at about the same time that Sunshine Numbers was playing in New York at the Village East, their other horse, Top Striker, was winning the Colonial Cup that day at 4 o'clock or whatever time it was. So we have a really fun little story about that. But all of us together are just really excited about welcoming everybody to town. We have a fantastic Kershaw County Chamber and Kershaw County Tourism Group, and Susie Sale has been just instrumental. She's the tourism director. She's been instrumental in helping us get the word out through billboards around the state, and a lot of PR has gone into this. So we're very blessed to have such just really excited people to be helping us. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We're also doing some things that are children related. Do you mind if I talk about that?
No, go right ahead.
We have a full day, Saturday the 18th will be a full day that will be geared in one capacity toward children. We have a literary roundup, and Suzanne Kopp-Moskow's Little Herc is kicking off the animated film portion of the morning, and so the Little Herc Family Fest is the free event that families and children can come to, and we have a film block that morning that will be all based on children films. So that'll be a lot of fun. And then some of the authors that wrote the children's books will be on hand for book signings, and just kind of trying to gear it toward a kids' day for that. So we'll also have the adults, have some things that they can see and do with Gallery Gallop and other film blocks too, but we really want to make this accessible to families and folks with young children. So we've got some folks on board that will be doing celebrity readings, and our local Miss Camden and Miss Teen Camden are going to be on hand to host us, and just trying to make this a big community event and fun for the outsiders, but fun for the Camden folks too. So it should be good.
The thing about this is, and I've been to the New York Festival a few times, the thing about this really is that there are so many good equine stories, and they have a hard time finding their way to theater screens.
That's absolutely true, yes.
And there's some really good movies that just never get the screening, only because the powers that be in the distribution areas, of all of Hollywood and the theater control, so to speak, just never put these movies out there.
Well, and that's the thing that we've been so lucky with Lisa and Diana and their whole push for promoting the films and the filmmakers. Last year, Bruce and I just had the little short trailer for our film. It's 4 minutes long, and we were lucky to find filmmakers from Trinidad, James O'Connor and Dylan Cannell, and they have a company called The Art of Storytelling, and we knew we were working toward a documentary. We had no idea how to get the word out about that. And so Lisa and them said, yeah, we'll put your trailer in the festival. And we ended up traveling all over the world, basically, with the film festival tour, and we're able to get the word out about our trailer. And so, once the documentary was finished, and we had it this past year in the festival, we already had people who knew about us just because we've been so lucky to be on the festival tour before. So I can't say enough about the work that Lisa has done, and you and the rest for enabling us to get our story out, because it would be a shame to work so hard on the film and then just have it sit on a vault somewhere, or on somebody's shelf in Camden, South Carolina. This gives us the chance to get the word out across the world. So
people, a lot of people don't realize the value of horses and what they do and how they help people in all of this, because I did an interview with Bruce when we were in Manhattan, back in November. And actually, that interview was aired on these radio stations as a show a few weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
So,
we saw, and we're so excited. Yeah, Bruce has a hard time explaining his work, and on the surface it looks like natural horsemanship, or to people who are familiar with EGALA, it looks sort of like an EGALA session, but it's really, the foundation of it is a lot different. And so film was the one way that we were able to, instead of sitting there talking, film was the way we were able to show people a little bit more about what his work is all about. And so, yeah, he really enjoyed talking to you. And wasn't that a fabulous art gallery? Roberto DeTesco's Wild Horses of Sable Island couldn't have been a better backdrop for what you were filming that day.
That was a fantastic backdrop. The only issue I had was getting cameras in a position where I could get over everybody's head, because everybody was standing for the awards. But it was a great backdrop, and that gallery was so fantastic. And to just walk into this small storefront way down on the Lower East Side of Manhattan. I mean, we were almost to the southern tip of Manhattan Island, and all of a sudden there is this wonderful art gallery on horses, and the story of those wild horses from the island was just, you just did not expect to walk through that door and see what you saw there,
Exactly. They say it's the longest running one, I think, in New York, or I'm not sure if that's true, but anyway, that's what somebody told me. But yeah, to have a wide range of films going from the Chasing Wild Horses that he had as a documentary to some of the animated features, and the story of Scout's Honor, for example, coming from California. Naomi Boynes is going to be joining us in South Carolina to tell her tale of problems that she had, and an accident and an injury, and the way horses brought her back from that. And so, and Christmas Ranch is another one that we're featuring here in Camden that's just a feel-good family story. I talked to Doug Maddox, the filmmaker in New York, when we were spinning around, and he said, there just weren't enough films out that I could take my children to see. And so I wanted to do something that would be something that I'd be proud of for them. So it's just all filmmakers have such phenomenal stories, and so interesting to talk to them. And the thing, too, is we have artists who are involved and authors. And so Lisa's bringing this wide platform of film, but also with the literary component and the art, and it's growing all the time. So we're proud to be a part of it. We really are.
It is fantastic, and I know I got a chance to interview Naomi there in Manhattan as well, and her story about her injuries and the horse and Scout and everything was a pretty phenomenal story as well. But all of these things, and we're going to remind everybody that all of these things you can see at the Equus Film Festival. This is the Camden tour stop, right?
Absolutely, and we have a website. If they'd like to come on and see the schedule or descriptions of films or whatever, it's the Equus. It's actually www.equusfilmfestivalcamden.com, and tickets are now on sale on Eventbrite, which is also available at equusfilmfestivalcamden.eventbrite.com. So lots more information out there, and gives you host hotel and all that kind of stuff too. So hopefully everybody will step on the website. We also carry things on Facebook, so you can follow us and like us there too. So I hope you'll all be able to come to Camden. Yeah,
everybody come. I'm going to be there, and we're going to be doing interviews, and we're going to be doing a lot of things and having a lot of fun. It's February 16th to the 18th. And it is Camden, South Carolina. Check it all out. We really appreciate it. So, Julianne, it's been a pleasure to have you join us this morning.
Thank you so much, Wayne. I can't wait to see you again. It won't be long now. We'll see you in Camden.
We'll see you in Camden. Thanks. And thanks for joining us here on Speaking of Horses. While we're talking about horses and horse activities, it's really interesting that there's not a horse person out there that doesn't like to have some design capability in their own barn. And we work with a company, King Barns. Very, very wonderful custom structures. They're out of New Holland, Pennsylvania, near Lancaster. Top-notch custom design. So if you're that horse person that wants to get your own design in, King Barns can do it for you, because every horse person has their own ideas on how they want a barn. Well, that's our show. I'm your host, Wayne Williams. Speaking of horses, we'll be back next week with a brand new show. Or join us at speakingofhorses.com.